Hello, everybody, or maybe I should say hello, anybody, because I'm not sure if anybody is here or not. This is just a bit of a last minute stream and see how things are going with the people I talk to. And of course, it would not be my show without a bit of an update on what is going on in the world of the Kent Hovind and my ministry to save souls from his clutches. So, yes, I do hope the ministry my one is going well. I can never quite measure it, but some of the shows don't get many views and others get a lot. And of course, really, it doesn't really matter how many views. If I'm just to reach a few people in the cause of reason and common sense and science, then I'm quite happy about that. I'm quite happy if I can rescue some people from the world of Kent and his ilk. Uh, you notice I don't try and rescue people from any other particular evangelists, although there are some terrible ones too. And I definitely don't try and rescue people from decent Christian folk. I don't have an issue with that. The issue I have is what I see as the huge hypocrisy and narcissism of the Kent. Anyway, so I'm not sure what time it is over there in the US of A. And of course, it could be that you're otherwise preoccupied. There seems to be a lot going on in the foreign relations, shall we say, field in the US. So maybe people are caught up with watching that on the news. I don't really know. So since we last had a show, I've had a few, one fun thing where this woman was on Kent's show, and she did seem particularly enamored, and the old microphone sort of kept on tilting towards her. It's just, anyway. But the one that really I think is worth commenting on is he was having a discussion with a guy. He's not a lawyer, and he's at least has pains to say he's not a lawyer, but he's some sort of paralegal type person, I suppose you could say. And Kent is interested because he thinks there's some chance of overturning his conviction for his tax related crimes. And I've said time and time again, there is no chance of him overturning. He's been through all the processes for that. The only hope he has is for a presidential pardon. I don't think that's likely. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. But Kent has sort of associated themselves with the type of people that the president wouldn't really want to. So I think the chances are minimal because of his association, that is Kent's association with the likes of Byram and Stoney and the things that have been, well known about that association. We won't go into the detail here. It's sort of been discussed plenty of times. Uh, Anyway, so he's talking to this guy Tanawa, and the subject of jury nullification comes up because Kent's quite keen on that. He seems to think, and he puts in this show that you could just go on a jury, listen to all the evidence, maybe ask a couple of questions. I guess it's a pretend sort of feigning interest, and then just say not guilty. Well, I regard that as morally reprehensible and completely weak. If you don't like the law, you've got to try and do your best to change the law, but you're meant to be making a judgment based on the law. So after all this sort of what I consider to be nonsense going on for a while, I've remembered because of a Bob Dylan song about this, the Ballad of Emmett Till, I think it was. In the 1950s, people did on a jury just what Kent Hovind advocates. There was a case where they totally knew the couple of white guys were guilty of just the most terrible murder. Well, all murder is terrible, but the most terrible murder and torture of a young black boy. And they didn't like the idea of white people shouldn't be punished for that, and so they found him not guilty, and they knew he was guilty. And even, I think it was a day or two later, the guys admitted they were guilty because they couldn't be retried, under the law. So they, we did it. So that's the sort of disgusting repercussion, and in my view, immoral repercussion of that type of thing, interfering. Well, in my view, jury nullification is the technical term, and I just think it's absolutely appalling. And the other thing that I thought was rather ironic is an article been up recently, a number of people have alluded to it, that shows there that on the 10th of December, well, now last year, 2025, but not so long ago, in the United States District Court for the Southern District of Alabama, Kent E. Hovind, Dinosaur Adventureland, Christopher L. Jones, and Paul John Anson as plaintiffs filed some sort of a suit against Mr. Stoney, the defendant. And, so I don't know quite till they claim that they've been defamed. And personally, having had a look at this, cast my eye over it, I've already found one major legal error, which will, in my opinion, result in it going no further or having to be refiled. So I believe the fee for that is about $400 US each time. So yeah, it's good for a few people that are donating to Kent. I wonder if one way or another, that's where some of your money ends up. Will Kent say, "Oh, he's used his personal intellectual property or whatever"? I don't know. I don't know how tight the monitoring of the finances are at DAL. I suspect, because of the number of times money's been taken, that the finances are not controlled very well. Anyway, so that's getting distracted again. The old Claude is running away on a bit of a tangent. But I just think it is a very interesting lawsuit. And I just wondered, what will the judge or whoever assessed it even... I'm going to read clause 26, or bits of clause, not Claude, clause 26 of this lawsuit that Kent and others, Kent et al., have filed. It says, Stoney's smear campaign was picked up by other Hovind-hating YouTubers, including Atheist Jr., TTOR, Lies of the Devil, That Nerdy Trucker Billy, Robert Beatty, Big Bad Mama, and others. I mean, what is the judge going to think when Kent puts these names of the two? He may as well be saying Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, the Big Bad Wolf. I mean, I just think that is so crazy. And I wonder about the quality of Kent's legal advice. And of course, it is quite possible, because it's filed pro se, that he's just done it himself. And I would say in that case, his just as his science is as good as his singing, not very good, then his law is also as good as his science, in my view. So I don't think it's going to go very far at all. Tragedy. Oh no. Um, yes. So, and then there's pages and pages. I'm not going to go through it. Another YouTuber has, if you want to listen to it, and I think he had AI read it out, which was that was a good idea. It took quite a few hours, but you can look through it for yourselves if you look it up. It's I'll see if I can find a link and put it there for you to take a look at. But honestly, it's sort of hours of your life that you'll never get back. You might get a laugh out of it here and there, particularly if you have anything to do with things legal. And I don't mean a paralegal, because I think he has plenty of advice from paralegals, and things haven't worked out too well from there. I remember the $500 million lawsuit against the government, which was totally dismissed, thrown out. And yes, yeah, I think it's a bit of a joke, and I hope that the person who's been served, if they have, is okay, because you know, it's to me it's bullying, um, and that's just it's a good indication of what Kent is really like when you see this. So, what else can I say? Either way, yes, this is a huge dose of irony or hypocrisy is that Kent in this, or the plaintiffs in this lawsuit, have demanded that it be heard before a jury. Exactly the same type of jury that he's also advocating, that people given the task of being on a jury just say not guilty. So, you know, what's sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander, Kent. Not very good as far as I'm concerned. But then, some of Christians like Kent are not, in my view, very much. I think atheists have got a lot to teach you about common decency, um, and even intelligence. I mean, if I can read that and find a major error, then yes, but it does appear your followers can't. Is there anybody out there listening to the Claude in internet land? No, I don't think there is. So, well, never mind. I probably should have given a bit more notice. I don't like long shows anyway. So it'll be about 15 minutes. That's one of my shorter ones, but okay, no problem. If I do shorter ones, I can do more shows because I don't use up my allowance. I don't mean I mean an allowance of the StreamYard business or whatever. Okay, well, the Claude is going to wish you all a good day and say over and out. Please go to my other show. Please look at the short entitled Kent Hovind Blue Danube Variations by Claude. Okay, I think you might get a little bit of a laugh about that. Do look at the one about jury what I call it mockery. I think that's important as well. Very important, actually. More important than the Blue Danube one, which is just a bit of fun. But, it's serious. This, what I believe is making a mockery of jury trials. So, it's going to be the Claude saying over, and out. Thank you.